Good afternoon and welcome to Downtown Music. I'm Tim Lewis, Artistic Director of the series. Bob Sherman has been a terrific friend to us over the years, and this season he's created 4 very special programs for us featuring world-class musicians. Today he brings us David Krakauer and Kathleen Tagg, who will show us just what's possible given 1 clarinet and 1 piano. Bob sat down with the musicians before today's concert, and here are David, Kathleen, and Bob.
Among the most exciting program that we had was provided by David Krakauer and Kathleen Tagg. I didn't quite know what to expect, and I'm not sure what quite to expect today, but we had a fabulous hour there. And so I am very pleased, if only virtually, to welcome back Kathleen and David. Greetings, and tell us what you have been doing during all this time when concerts don't seem to work anymore.
Well, we've been keeping busy. We did a live stream concert from our place, which was quite an engineering feat because we had the engineer in Queens and we were in our apartment in Manhattan, and it was wild, but that was crazy. And then we spent an extended time at Hill and Hollow Music up in Saranac, New York. And so we're co-writing a clarinet concerto, which was actually supposed to be premiered now in early winter 21, but it's postponed for a year. But we're writing a clarinet concerto together. We put together a new project called a Mazel Tov Cocktail Party, which is with a crazy band, and worked on that. And that was launched online. And so we've been really keeping incredibly busy. But it's very stressful, and we feel very fortunate as so many musicians are really completely unemployed, and it's just a terrible situation.
And yeah, we have been finding that we've been generating, kind of mini concerts for various presenters and for ourselves to put out, and really trying to connect with our colleagues from very different backgrounds all across the music world, and to do sort of interview series. We've created podcasts, we've made videos. But of course, all of that, when you're in isolation, means that we have had to become sound engineers, podcast makers, video engineers, and hooking up live streams with multiple cameras. It's been really quite an extraordinary time. And then the other thing has been doing a lot of activist work with the East Coast-based Music Workers Alliance, which is a Jewish organization, really working to center the voices of independent musicians and music workers.
I'd like to know how you co-write a clarinet concerto. What happens, David? You have to ask Kathleen what works on the clarinet and what doesn't, or
exactly.
That's what I do. Could you please tell me, does that go down like?
Well, it depends.
Yeah,
we have special effects, David.
Seriously, how do you work as a team collectively?
Well, I'll let David talk about the concerto in particularly, but we've actually been writing a lot of music together over the past few years, and it's been an incredible journey of trust. And I think that's the primary word. David and I have got very different skill sets that are complementary, which has been really amazing. But every time we approach a project, we've written film scores together, we've created large-scale projects for a mixture of fully notated, improvised orchestral scores with improvising musicians, with people who do and don't read music. We've created a giant concert band piece. And each time we work, it's very different as to who generates the material, how it works. But this piece was quite different because obviously it is for David by David, and I'm in a different role.
So, well, what I spent a lot of time doing over the summer was writing the clarinet line, and then also providing a sort of a short score. So basically with a bass line, middle voice, kind of basically a 3-part score that I then hand over to Kathleen for her to think about different harmonizations, orchestration, fleshing it out, counter lines that occur to her. Sort of, it's as if we're playing together. I'm playing something and then she reacts to me. And that's how it kind of works. Sort of, it's really like an extension of our duo playing, especially when we're improvising, that we're creating material on the spot. But then this is where we take time and really take time to think about every single little detail. So it's working very well as a process.
And then really sort of bouncing around structure and things like that. But yes,
Well, listen, it worked for Lerner and Lowe and Rogers and Hammerstein, so I guess it should work for Tagg and David as well, Krakauer. So let's proceed to a brief analysis, not analysis, but a look ahead to the program you're going to give us today for Downtown Music. And as I look down the program, I see all kinds of words, Hasidic etude and a Bulgar tune, and there's something called an offering nigun. So a lot of Jewish terms here coming to Grace Episcopal. The one term that's not mentioned in any of the titles is klezmer, and that's the one we all know about. So how Jewish is your lineup here, and how much do we need to understand about it?
Well, the piece we're beginning with, the Hasidic Dance by Abraham Elstein, is a kind of a hybrid piece. It's a little bit of Elstein was one of the great composers for the Yiddish theater, and he wrote a number of great hits. He wrote the film score for Yiddle Mitten Fiddle from 1937 with Molly Picon, which was an iconic score for one of the great stars of the Yiddish theater. So the piece has a strong klezmer influence, strong Jewish influence, but it's also kind of like a cute little piece of light classical music, and it has a nice tinge of showbiz in it as well. So it kind of straddles different worlds. I believe Elstein went to Juilliard, and there's supposedly a lost piano concerto of his out there.
Wow.
That would be interesting to find. But he was a very, very skilled composer, and the piece is
right. But the idea, this I understand. I mean, a composer takes themes from wherever he chooses and works them into a piece. But klezmer, as I understand it, is, I don't know, it's a bunch of musicians getting together and somehow improvising the music that they're playing. Now, is that right, or do I have a wrong concept there?
Well, klezmer music is a folk tradition with a repertoire of folk tunes. And within that repertoire, or let's say dealing with that repertoire, there's a whole system of ornamentation, a whole system of phrasing, a whole sound world around klezmer music. You'd asked me to bring my clarinet, so this is a perfect time. Ready? So one thing I like to demonstrate is what klezmer isn't and what klezmer is. So imagine you show up at a wedding and there's a sort of a white bread wedding band, and they go like, tonight we're playing for Jewish people, so we'll play the tunes from page 45 to 55, but they don't really know the style. And the clarinet player in the band can read music pretty well, looks at the chart and plays it like this. a nice tune, but it isn't klezmer. It doesn't have the ornaments, the little notes between the notes, the little krechts, the sobs, the trills, the phrasing, the sound. So then, if suddenly they go like, nobody's dancing, we got to bring in the klezmer expert. And then maybe that person might play more something like this.
All right, now we know what klezmer is and, as you said, what it is not. And I assume you'll explain various pieces that we'll hear as we go along in the program you're going to present for us. So with that, let me say great thanks in advance to Kathleen and David. Can't wait for your clarinet concerto. Perhaps we'll have that for next year at Grace, who knows? But anyway, go ahead, give us the full measure of your wonderful presentation, and we'll talk to you a little bit after the show. Okay.
Now we're going to continue with a piece by the great Yiddish theater composer Abraham Elstein. And he did a piece called Hasidic Dance. And this has a lot of the great flavor of klezmer. It's a little classical, it's a little Broadway. So here we go.
We're going to play Parzial by John Zorn.
And Parzial is from John Zorn's Book of Angels. And this angel is the guardian of the seventh heavenly hall. That's the name of this angel. And so this is our treatment of this piece by John Zorn.
So this is Berenbau, and this glove is not a magic glove. It's just for not getting finger juice all over the copper strings on the piano. So here we go.
Okay, so we're going to continue now with with our version of one of the gems from the Great American Songbook, Body and Soul. And this is a piece that there are so many incredible versions from, of course, Coleman Hawkins, Billie Holiday, Charlie Parker, you know, John Coltrane, on and on. And for us, we just wanted to find our particular way of doing this gorgeous piece of music. So this is our version of Body and Soul. we are going to play a traditional klezmer song now, which is actually the first klezmer song I learned from the book, The Complete Klezmer by Henry Sapoznik and Pete Sokolov, a great book. If anybody wants to learn klezmer from the beginning, it's a wonderful, wonderful book. And that piece actually just, I kept playing it. It kind of became almost my theme song. One of the musicians who played in my band for a while, the great bass player, Mark Helias, said to me, "Hey man, that's the St. James Infirmary of klezmer." So I'll take it. I think that was a good moniker for this piece. Anyway, this is Der Gassennigen. In English, just means the street song. So this is actually from a long time ago, 2001, offering Nigun. Thank you all.
Great, thanks. I thought it was going to be a wonderful show. It obviously was. So Kathleen Tagg, David Krakauer, great, great thanks to you. But one question before you go. The last piece, Offering Nigun, has a very special significance. We talked a little bit about it off the air. I really wish you would tell our listening friends the background of the piece, how it came to be, and what does make it so poignant and special.
The Offering Nigun was music that I had composed for a collaboration with the dancers Echo and Coma. And they do this very, very beautiful, slow kind of dance and slow movement. And it's very, very spiritual, very meditative. And when I watched them dance as we were preparing this piece, and this sort of melody flew into my fingers, and basically the piece was a eulogy for the victims of 9/11. It was done several months after 9/11 and was done close to the site of Ground Zero. And Echo and Coma had built a hill of earth, and they moved slowly on this hill of earth, and I played this music. And so that was the inspiration for Offering Nigun.
But it must have been a very emotional occasion as well for you. I mean, being so close to the scene and so close to the time of the tragedy in the first place.
Yes, absolutely. It was very, very, very powerful to have the opportunity to do that collaboration with those wonderful, wonderful artists, Echo and Coma.
And actually, this piece is the one that we used last year through the early part of the pandemic, when at 7 o'clock, when people were applauding our healthcare workers every night out of the windows. And it was such a strong part of New York City's sound world and just of our identity as a city. And that was something that just after the clapping would finish every night, we would play this piece, and we're putting it out online, and we would stream. This was the piece that we felt
Well, it is it is a deeply touching sense of not only the musical values that you bring, but the personal values. And it has been a very special joy for me to have brought you here to Downtown Music. And great thanks to you for coming back to us at Downtown Music. And next year, clarinet concerto, right? Or at least some version of it. So Kathleen Tagg, David Krakauer, it has been a special joy. We thank you much. Just a quick note that next week we'll turn to piano music. Stecker and Horowitz have been with us several times. They run the New York International Piano Competition, and they have discovered all manner of astonishing young pianists. And I'm not sure which one of them they're going to corral next week, but one of them will be here. So we will have a full piano recital and probably a little interview as well. But meanwhile, Kathleen, David, great good luck to you, and thanks so much one more time.
Thank you, Bob.
And with that, we will close out. See you next time. And I should say, actually, this time before we do close, that there obviously are a lot of Zooming costs and expenses that Downtown Music has to endure. And if you would like to help the Downtown Music series prevail and continue, remember, these are given now to you without any charge at all. By all means, you're at the, I assume, Downtown Music site. If not, go to dtmusic.org. There's a donate button, and we will be very grateful for you. And with that, we close out. Thanks again, Kathleen, David, and I'll see you guys next week. Thanks a lot. I'm Bob Sherman.